everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Big Bear, and today we returning to the series from zero to zero. Some of the information in this video will be covered in the previous video. I'm gonna put a link to the whole playlist, and if there's something that you feel, oh, you like why is skipping too much and stuff like that, feel free to watch the earlier video for those information. Okay, other than that, we're gonna jump into this table right here. Now, in the previous videos, we were talking about like how to dissect the data and kind of like create some pointer for your cheat engine table. Now, let's say there's some people were asking like, oh, so what happened when we do not have the feature of cheat engine, or cheat engine cannot automatically detecting like the offset for the pointer for us? What should we do? So this video is for that purpose, and also I will show you how to create some of the script to kind of utilizing those pointers and why making the pointers important. All right, so first of all, we're gonna get it to this game. It's called Story of Season, Friend of Mineral Towns. It's been released for a few years, so this game is very stable and they do not really need any update anymore. Basically, the game is perfect in its current condition. Okay, so let's get started. Now, let's say one of the things that I want to do with this with today's video is accessing into our animal information. So like in this game, right, when you have an animal, you see that they have some like heart, which basically the more heart you have, the better product they might produce. These animals can also get pregnant, they can grow, they can die, they can kind of like attending some of the event and become like the king, or they get a crown or something like that. Once they get a crown, they produce better quality product. So all of them seem like they stay in the same array. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to accessing that array and then figure out what each offset do. Okay, so let's say basically on the baseline, each animal gonna have 5 heart. Each heart gonna have like a point from 0 to 24. So the first heart gonna be 0 to 24. The next one gonna from 25 to 49. The next one gonna be like from 50 to 74, something like that. Okay, so we're gonna use that information to try to find the affection, the heart level for this animal, and then hopefully in that array, like when we're dissecting the data in that array, we will find the other information. Okay, so let's get started. Now my cow number 1 over here, let's see. Yeah, my cow number 1 right here is having like 3 heart, and I know that like from some of the wiki stuff, and they said that each heart gonna equivalent to about like up to 24 points. So at 3 heart, we want to have some value from 70 to like 3 heart, right? 1 heart up to 24, 2 heart up to 49, 3 heart from 50 to 75 somewhere, right? Is it right? Yeah, around that. So since I know that, I can use the 5 value in between. Okay, so now let's say what happened if like the value is a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna looking for some value around 40, right? And I said that 79, right? So how about I change it to 89, something like that. So we usually give a gap in between like our expected value, because sometimes they might change, they might kind of like abstract the value, they might encoding it. So increase our range gonna increase the chance for us to find what we want. At the same time, it kind of like it's gonna take you more time to looking for stuff, because sometimes like in this game I only need to increase the range by 10, like the lower limit by 10, the upper limit by 10. But some game you might need to increase increase the lower and upper limit by 1,000 to 2,000 something, and again it's gonna take you more time. But again, more time usually like guarantee the result. Okay, so I'm going to do the first game, and we have quite some value in here. Now let's go back to the game and try to increase the affection to our lovely cow over here. Let's see, do I have this one? All right, let's wash it. And then, so when you see that heart showing up, right, we know that the value of the affection get increased. And by, I think by what they said, anytime you do something, that value increase by 1. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the scan type, and you're gonna to increase value by 1, and we do next scan. And now we have only 8 value, but this one, it's not even inside of the game on the inside the game memories. This is more like a DLL that they inject in there. So we just gonna delete it, just remove it. And now we have this one. This one is changing, this one is changing. You just see it turn red, right? So those are not the one that we're looking at. This one too. Right, now we have 3 value left, right? And then I do not know which one is the real one. Okay, so I just add all of them in here. Now let's say before I doing this, I make a save. Okay, so I'm gonna load that save. In this game, when you when you save and load the save, the address not changing. In some of the game, when you do that, you know, like the pointer gonna change. But this one, I notice it's not changing, so we can use it to make our life easier. I'm gonna read the journal here, and then I'm gonna load the save, and you see this value gonna get decreased, one of them. There we go. So this one from 82, now we have 80, right? And this one, it used to be 66 and now it's 67. Right, so, and the other two is not changing, so this is not the one that we're looking at. So this one is like how 1 heart. I want to put in that. All right, now from here, we're gonna try if this one is the real value. I noticed that we can go up to 250, but it has something, this game has something with the generation of the cow that you have, right? So like you cannot get up to 250 affection until you reach the 5th generation. So I'm gonna do something like smaller. We can see earlier when we check. Now let's do it again. And I check my animal. Cow 1 had 3 heart. Okay, so I'm gonna change this value to like 10. Right, and let's see what's going on. Now we have no heart. Okay, so I know that this is the true value of this one right here, of this cow. Next, I'm gonna right click on that one and find out what access to the address, and then this thing's showing up. Okay, we don't see anything yet because we didn't do anything yet. Let's see, where do I put this thing? Maybe down here. All right, let's go back to the game and see what can we do. Let's open the menu, and if you see that when I open the menu, this instruction coming up. So this instruction accessing the value of the cow affection whenever I open the menu, right? So this look like a good one right here. There's only 1 cow, so the one thing, right? You can try to kind of increase the affection by talk to the cow, wash it, and see the change. But in this case, I found this one and it looked promising to me. It's inside the game memory region, so we're good in here. Let's get in here and show this assembler. And we get to this part over here, not much of thing going on. Alright, this is a very short function, so it seems like this one got called just to write the value of the heart. Okay, anyway, we're gonna use this one now. Right click on that and find out what address this code access. Okay, and this thing showing up. Alright, let's go back and turn on the menu again, and you see it showing up. We have 13 address, and you can see some number over here. Now, what are these? Right, and get into my animal over here. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 animal. I have 2 pets, right? And that means I have 13 animals in total, including like the livestock and the pet. And we have 13 address in here. So now they all match up. Okay, and we see that 250 right here, right? So I know that these two, one gonna be the horse and one gonna be the cat. Okay, go back and go to the animal. In here I have cow 1 at 10, right? And then I have my alpaca, sheep, cow, whatever is 149, something like this. And then yeah, the maximum is 149. I have something 60 over here, and let's see, so it's gonna be my rabbit 2 over here. All right, so I found that this function right here access to all our animal. I'm gonna use this one right here. Now let's go back to our cow 1. I'm gonna right click on it and open dissect data with select address. Okay, new window, click OK, and let me move thing over so you see what's going on. Okay, again, open dissect data, okay, and you're gonna see something like this open up. I'm gonna name this one animal array. Okay, and then we just click yes. Just let it guess for, just use the default value, okay, and you see a whole ton of stuff in here, right? Now, first of all, I see something with a Unicode string over here, cow. Remember, I named my cow is cow 1, cow 2, something, right? And we see cow over here. Let's try to see what's going on in here. And when we change this one to Unicode, we see the full name, cow 1. And that's the name of my animal over here. Beautiful. So now it's easier for me to work when we need to compare and contrast the difference between the animals, okay? We're going down here and to see stuff, and I see alpaca in here. So this might be like the second animal from the array. So they kind of like go together in the same table. They just listed like from the first animal to the last animal, which is going down. So over here, this is the beginning of my next animal, right? Let's see. Alpaca 1, yes. So now I go back over here first, and I try to kind of like make things easier to look, because like the rest gonna just the repeat of the data, right? From like this part over here down all the way somewhere here, that all the information for my cow, and then anything after that just repeat. So I don't want to just keep looking down here because they're all the same data anyway. So let's say from cow 1, I'm gonna go on up 1, 2, 3. So it's from like 0 to 14 gonna be offset 14. We had the name, right? Name. Okay. So down here we go to the name again to 14. So this is the beginning of the next animal. I don't need that information. I'm just gonna delete all of them. Okay, I just delete all of them, and now this is this whole thing from offset 0 to offset 1 FC. That's the information of our animal. Okay, let's try to add another animal in here. I'm gonna put in, let's say, the dog and the cat. I mean the horse and the cat in here. Let's go for open dissect data, and then this thing showing up. You wanna click on the animal array that you just dissect over here, click OK, and you see that they added 2 more addresses for us over here. I'm going to put this into another group so it's easier for us to track it. Group 2, and this one's going to go to group 2 as well. All right, now what are these color meaning? The color meaning is like there's some difference or something that's similar, and for you to know, like, you know, like how those color going, you're gonna go view and setting in here, and you can see that the color in here we have like the default color. Equal mean like they are green, and then different is red, group equal blue, group different are like purple, right? All right, let's get back in here and see what's going on. Okay, so in here I see that we have the name right there. All right, and then now we're gonna try to look for the hot level or the affection. Usually, like when it's showing up over here, it shows the offset. So the offset like 1A4 is the affection, right? We're going down here, 1A4. Okay, I got the affection. All right, and you see that the number right here matching with what we having, like 10 to 50 to 50, 10 to 50 to 50, right? That's a good one. Now we're gonna try to kind of like filter out the information in here. I noticed that when I get in the game, I see some of these values changing constantly. Like when I walk around, I pushing the animal. See that? So this is not the, this might just be kind of like these two right here, and the inflows is more likely they are the value for coordination. Maybe that this is X and this is Y coordinate. Usually coordination say in float. I'm not really sure if this one is true, right? But let's try to change it. Maybe you see the cow teleport. Maybe not. Because sometimes it does, sometimes it's not. But anyway, it kind of like this is nothing that we need to worry about. This one right here keep changing to, I guess this one gonna be like the direction of the cow. You see that when it change direction, this one change to another number 1. And then 2, so 1 is like heading up, 2 heading left, maybe 3 heading right, and then gonna 0 or 4 gonna be heading down. Right, let's see, let me try to push that. Yeah, so you see that so this is like direction. Okay, so basically like in some of the like in games like Cattle Country that I make that we make the previous video, right? Cheat engine can guess all of these offsets, what are they for us. So for this game, since we don't have that information, we have to kind of guessing ourselves. And how do you getting this? You just, like learn it by yourself. After a while, you're gonna kind of notice the data and you understand what's going on. Okay, but this thing right here is not really something that important, because what I want is I want to create an animal that gonna live forever. In this game, your animal will die after a while, right? And then like you need to get your animal to be like, to be very healthy, or like you want them to grow faster. So we're gonna go down and we're gonna look at the data. Now all of these are zeros. Some of these is some number over here. I don't know what are these, but it does not look that attractive to me, so just keep going. Over here you see there's some byte changing, but usually like the name have around like 20 character. So from like 14 to 1C, usually it's still the same. It might go out from 14 to 24, that kind of this whole thing gonna be the name, right? Cheat engine do not know that, and it's just guessing for us. So we just ignore this part right here. Down here, a lot of time when you get in games, you're gonna see some of the data going in pack of 4 like this, and they're just random number all over. Sometimes they're important, sometimes they are not. You can try to change this number and see what's going on. For this game, when I try to change this, there's nothing happen. So, well, that might be something else. It can be some name over here, it can be whatever. It's not something that we're looking at. All right, and a bunch of zeros, so we don't know what are the zero mean. We just keep going down here. Now, let's say usually like they're gonna define, in the programming language, they're gonna try to define a lot of stuff kind of like together. So over here we have affection, right? So around this affection gonna have some of the what is that? Around this affection can be like some important information. So let's say I see a 43 over here, I see 17 and 12. Now this number might not make any sense to you, but it makes sense to me because I know that I adopt, like what day that I adopted these animals. I know what day I adopted my horse and my cat, right? And it seemed like this one looked like the age of the animal. In this game, the age of the animal count by day. So I'm gonna guess it a day something, right? And let's see if that's really the age. So I have my cow over here, right, at 43 days old. Okay, how about I put it at 1? All right, cow doesn't change anything, but I need to go out and go back in, and there we go. My cow 1 become a baby cow. It's a calf, right? So this one is the age of our animal. I'm gonna put it back to 43. Right, and go out and back in. Now we have our big and beautiful cows again. Okay, so this one is good guess right here. Awesome. We had the affection over here. As you can see, from 10 now it goes to 11. It increased. Good one. This one right here, what is that? I don't know what that is for now. Okay, the thing is like when when I get my cow like the next generation, I notice that this number is keep going up. So like it's gonna by 1, 2, 3, 4 for like first generation, second generation, third generation, something like that. So this number right here is a generation. And if you want to test this one, you need to make your cow get pregnant, right? And then let the cow deliver the baby. Okay, and then you check the baby data and you compare the information of the two, and you're gonna see that. Now in this one, I give you a cheating way to kind of like, you know, we know that okay, the next one gonna be the generation, so I'm gonna put it like 5 generation over here, the 5th generation. Okay, and let's see what's going on. Go to here, animal, and you see that the heart from 5 now it go to 10, because 10 the maximum heart gonna be 10 heart, and you can only get that after 5 generation. Okay, something like that. And let's go down here. We gonna look at the data over here. Okay, let's remove these because these two doesn't have any. Those two are the pet and they do not produce anything. I'm gonna adding in like, let's say another cow, right? Let's see if I have. This is not a cow. Well, I don't know which one is the cow. Just gonna add them all together and see the name of my animal. Rabbit. No, I don't need the rabbit. I don't need the chicken. I don't need the chicken. I don't need another chicken. Bunch of chicken. Okay. Let's see. Alpaca. No. Sheep. No. There we go. We have some cow here. All right. Let's go down here and take a look. So we're gonna see a bunch of 0 right here, right? Back and forth. I'm gonna start watching from here all the way down here. The reason I'm watching here is we're looking for like a check for like whenever you get some milk from the cow. Okay, the game do a check from like yes or no. We're gonna check this cow got milk, yes or no, right? So if it no, that means it's 0. So we see a bunch of 0, and I expect to see like some of these 0 turn to 1 after I milk my cow. Okay, so let's go back to the cow and get my milker and then milk it. All right, awesome. You see that this thing changing right away. These two change. Let's go back in here and see what's going on, right? For these cow, I didn't milk it yet, and then they are 0. This one I milk it and it become 1. Okay, how about I try to milk my cow again? Okay, I don't get any milk. All right, how about I change it to 0? Because my question was like, is it get milk or not, right? So now it like 0 mean the cows didn't get milk, and milk it again. And I got another milk. Okay, so I know that this one is the check for milk, right? We're not milking. Now this one over here, what's going on in here? We see a bunch of number. This number basically like in the hex is gonna F right here, and that's basically -1. Okay, I put it in there. So what does this mean in kind of programming language? Usually like this one is where they designing the they're using this to determine like what type of quality of a product. In this game they have a check of kind of like 1/255 chance that you're gonna get a special product, and putting it at -1 like this gonna be easy for them to make that randomized number. It's a bunch of script like in the in the programming language. You can just put a random like 1 to 125, and then you define a value for that to proc. But in assembly language, it's gonna go like a bunch of stuff, and it translates into like the -1 value over here for that check. Okay, so I know. So now when I see that over here, I'm gonna put it in quality right here. Now let's say if you don't know what that is, then you really need to kind of like step-by-step checking. So I know that it's going from -1 to 0 after I milk something. How about I change this one to 5? Because Because I know this game they have a small, medium, large, and platinum and X product. So it have 5 different type of stuff in here, right? 5 or 6 somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna try to change this to, let's say, start with a 3. Okay, and then I mill my cow again. And I get a bigger milk, right? So that serve my theory. Okay, so we got like check for milk, so you can basically, if you freeze it value to 0, then basically you can infinitely milk your cow. Okay, it's not fun, but kind of like we know something over here. Now let's say in this game there's another check that going with the quality, like, you know, like your animal need to be outside for a while before you can produce to the like next level of what is that, huh? Next level of product. Okay, and also like the cow need to win some of the competition for them to get what is that, to get to produce the next quality product too. And going, so what you're gonna do, you in this game you're gonna check the calendar. Where's my calendar? Got it. It's in the main house. Open the calendar. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna need to find the date. Basically, it's just a basic check, basic scan. You just look for the value of the date over here, 25. And this game, date the 25th of spring mean number 24, because the game start at 0. Okay, so that kind of a hint for you to find the date. But you want to change the date, or if you already there, then make your life easier. We're gonna go to summer and move festival. You try to, you know, like boost your cow heart to like 10 heart, and then you easily win that competition. And after you win, you're gonna see that this value over here get changed, and I'm gonna put it in hex. Okay, so this right here is kind of like winning contest or not. So this is what is gonna happen if you have a crowd that win the condition. You're gonna see this number getting changed. Okay, and to test that one right here, I'm gonna show you. Just make it easy. 1, okay, and then go back to my cow animal, and you see that my cow have a crowd right here. Okay, so this one is what kind of like checking if like my cow having any type of special stuff, right? That winning a contest. That put the affection to the max level first. All right, I'm gonna call my cows. Now let's say I know that because about like the timing stuff. The animal need to be outside for 1,000 hours before they can produce the very high-end product, right? So I'm gonna ring the bell here and call my animal out. And as they going out, right, you see there's some number going up, some of them going out already. Where's my cow number 1? Come on. Everybody's out here, only the one that I need to come out, stay inside. Where is it? Where's my cow? Come out. There we go. He stayed too far in the back. All right. You notice that as the animal going out, these numbers start ticking, right? It keep going up. When I go back in here, when the time is frozen, when you're inside a building in this game, the time is froze. Right, you see that the number is not going anymore, and then when you go out, when the time starts flowing, this one going. So I know that this, based on that, I know this one is like the time the animal staying out. That both of them, I don't know which one is the real one. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to change this to the 60,000. That means 1,000 hours in the games. All right, and then I go to sleep. Sleep. Let's see what's going on. All right, so you see that it changed from a 60,000 to like 1,066 something over here, and I don't know what's going on in there, but let's go see my cow again. That's my cow. So if I get like a P product, then that should be the right one. Let's see. No, I do not get. I just get the G product. Okay, so I need to the P or the platinum product. So this is not the one that we're looking at. Okay, we're gonna put it like something over there. We don't know what that is. Now let's test this one. 6,000. No, 60,000. Okay, and then go back. Get another sleep. I mean, I can change the quality, but that will not mean anything because like you can produce the even the X product without any modification to the affection over here. So that will not mean anything if we just change the quality right there. Because I want to see if this really fulfill the condition. So for the animal to produce the P product, it needs to be at maximum affection. It needs to win a contest, and then it needs to be out for at least like 1,000 hours, which is like 60,000 over here, because basically this is 60,000 minutes in the games. Okay, so let's try to mill my cow one more time, and there we go. So now we see that this one right here gave us the P product, and you see that the P product quality is 4. Okay, now I want to even change it to 5, and then this one to 0. Okay, and milk it again. I should get a lot bigger. See that now I get a bigger milk X product. So this one was good in there. What happened to this thing over here? I like for you, any of you who kind of like wondering what's going on down here. This down here checking the date of like animal with fur in this game. So like for example, the sheep over here, you're gonna see like they're gonna show up at the countdown for the day until the sheep was you will be able to cut the fur of the sheep, something like that. This number right here, let's say they are the pregnancy number. So when I click on this guy right here and then I put that in there, see that this one from 0 to 1, right after I put this cow pregnant, and this is the pregnancy English. Okay, all right, to double check that is that true, I put it back to 0 and I talk to the cow, and you see that the cow look happy and healthy. Okay, I put it on here, and then you see that the cow is pregnant. Okay, and it say that at least 21 days left to go. So now I want to know like what is that? I want to know the date of the pregnancy, because I want to test that. So let's go to bed again and see what's going on in here. And you see that these two numbers just change when I go to sleep. So one of those are the check for like the date. Let's go back in there and check our cow. Due to be 21 or 20 days. Okay, I'm gonna make another cow get pregnant too. So cow 3 gonna get pregnant, and then 21 day, and this one is 20. We're making that so we can compare and contrast the data. So cow 3 is this one over here. So let's delete the other one. Now we'll need these two to kind of like take a look in here. All right, let's go. And I'm gonna sleep. Do I have enough up? Yeah, I had enough boost. Let's go back to my stuff here. Okay, sleep. And you see that these numbers have changed. So go back to see the cow. All right, check my cow, 18 day, 20 day. Okay, so these two numbers are maybe like the day left on pregnant. One of these. Now let's say, so which one are we gonna look at? I notice that when I go to sleep, this number increased by 15. This number increased only by 1. So let's start with a smaller number and see what's going on. This is 2, right? How about I change it to 1? Wait, not 93, 9. And then the talk to my cow again. Is something happen? When I talk to the cow, I say that the cow still has 18 days left, and you know, so this number not doing anything. It a counter for something. So we are not touching it. We're gonna try this one right here, and again it increased by 15 when we go to sleep, right? How about I change this one to 90? And kaboom, from 18 now we have 14 days left. So I know that every day gonna be counted 15, right? And we're gonna do some calculation here. 21 day, that means 15. We had 315, right? I'm gonna change this to like 300. Okay. Wait, come on. So now it's like the days left. She ought to give birth soon. Okay. Let's check if that thing gonna happen. Move my the cow's not moving. All right. Let's go to bed and see what's going on. Now we have another cow. Okay. Call it cow small. Alright, so now we know that for sure this is the one that we need. We just put this one as something that we don't know. We don't care about that anymore now. So we have quite some information from like up here to down here. We have the name, right? You can even rename your cow over here. You're going down here checking the age and the affection, the generation. Some of these going to be the check if the cow got eaten or something like that. I leave that, you know, like for your assignment. Okay, you can find it yourself. Originally, I planned to show you how to create some script to kind of like boosting your animal stat in here, but this video already quite long already. So I'm gonna leave that to the next video. Thank you for watching. I will see you later.